All right, considering that you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume that you're trying to figure out how to make high quality thumbnails efficiently. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing here today. I'm going to be walking through a raw step-by-step on how I create my high quality thumbnails and how we create thumbnails for the creators and coaches that we work with. And I'm actually going to be creating the thumbnail for this video. And obviously it actually turned out pretty well considering that you clicked on this video. But yeah, let's get straight into this. So I'm going to be going from my brainstorming all the way up to the final thumbnail. So yeah, let's get started here. So what I do to create these thumbnails is starting out with brainstorming. So how I go about that is I go on YouTube, and I know this video is going to be about Nano Banana and Photoshop because we're going to be using those two platforms. So we're going to come over here and we're just going to look up Nano Banana and we're going to check out some thumbnails that have been working out well. So let's take a look at this. So we have this one. This is solid. I like how it incorporates the face. This is great. This is exactly what I'm looking to do. But I'm looking more for one. Don't really like this. I want one that pops out much more. So let's see if we can get like a... This is solid. I like how he's like holding the banana. That intro actually looked pretty sick. Let's scroll down a little bit more. See what we got. I might want to do something like this where they're like holding the banana. That's like what the, yeah, exactly. Like this one right here where it's like glowing. That's pretty sick. Has his face in there as well. Love it. Yeah, so let's do something like this right here. So what we're going to do now is, now that we have like our idea, we're going to come over to Google. You can start out by doing this on Google Gemini. Personally, I don't use Google Gemini. Just because I don't really like how they have watermarks on their photos. I mean, you can always take it out in Photoshop, but also I enjoy the UI much better on Envato Elements, and I also have a subscription over there. So I'm going to be using Envato Elements. They also use the same engine. They also use Nano Banana. We can go over there and check that out. I'll show you what I mean. So you can see I just clicked on Gen AI, and then I can come over to Nano Banana. And here's the thing, it's the exact same thing as Google Gemini, but the only thing is Gemini gives you watermarks, and then yeah, the UI is just different. Like you can upload reference images in here and also add prompts. You can add reference images in here, add files, upload files, see, same thing, and then add your prompts in here. But I think it's much easier to use on Envato. And yeah, I also have a subscription over here, so why not? But yeah, so anyways, we're gonna start out with an image of myself, of course. So let's come over and get a picture of myself. So I'll show you guys before and after, because what we're going to be doing is uploading this right into here, and you won't really be able to see my face that well. It's pretty small over here. So I'll pop up a before and after right now, so you can see, well, the before, so you can see what I look like right now, and then you'll see what my thumbnail will look like after. But yeah, so now that we have this reference image in there, now we have to go and do our first prompt. So what I want to do right now is, my idea is, considering that picture that you just saw is like the contrast is not really that great. I mean, I'm wearing like a light colored shirt in that, like a green, there's some patterns in there. The contrast really isn't that great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background into a darker color. And also I want to change what I'm wearing. So what I do right now is I use ChatGPT as a personal assistant. Honestly, if you're not using ChatGPT as a personal assistant quite yet, then you really got to get on that. It just helps my entire workflow process in multiple aspects. But yeah, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk to ChatGPT, and so they can give me a prompt to feed Nano Banana, so it actually understands like what I'm trying to do. So I'll get back to you with that in just a second. All right, I got my prompt in here. So it says right here, use the reference photo, keep the same face, pose, framing, and glasses, turn the background into a matte black room while preserving the wall panel grooves. So yeah, because I want to keep the texture back there so you can really see that it's a wall, not just like a black screen or something, you know. Then the shelf's edges, texture on the right, and subtle but visible. Replace the clothing with a plain black Nike hoodie, hood up. So hopefully there's still a bit of contrast with the wall and my black hoodie. And then we can go, yeah, the lighting is moody and soft. Exactly what I want there. Keep realistic skin tones, natural reflections in the glasses. Maintain that, yeah, for sure. Maintain sharp detail, of course. And then do not add any text, objects, bananas, because I told it my final goal is to have a banana in my hand, so it put that in there. And then clean, cinematic, realistic. So let's check out what this gives me real quick. All right, taking a look at this right now. That is pretty sweet. That's actually exactly what I'm looking for. So that's great. Really maintain my face well. Has the hood up. This is great. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So what I like to do with Envato or Nano Banana, really, because that's what I'm using. As you can see in the bottom right, it says it's using Nano Banana's engine right here. But yeah, so what I like to do next is just kind of go step by step. So I have the background that I'm looking for. There's a great amount of contrast. So now what I really want to do is kind of back up my face a little bit. Like I want to zoom out a little bit. I feel like I'm a little too close considering that I'm going to be holding up a banana. So I'll get back to you with the prompt after I'm done talking to ChatGPT right now. All right, I have my prompt in here, but one thing that I do need to change right now is I need to remove this reference image and add this reference image back in here. So you can see bottom right says add to references. So we're going to slide that in here. And now it says right here, use the reference image, keep the same person, pose, lighting, and black hoodie with the hood up, move the camera back roughly 1 foot to capture the person's full upper body and both hands. Add a massive realistic yellow banana approximately the size of a human torso, around 5 to 6 feet long, being held horizontally with both hands in front of the body. The banana should span nearly the entire width of the frame. That's perfect, with both tips clearly visible and both hands gripping it naturally underneath. Keep the lighting and shadows consistent. For sure, that's exactly what I'm looking for. With the current image, do not add glow, logos, or text. Maintain a clean, cinematic, realistic style. Yeah, so this is exactly what I'm looking for. So let's see what it comes up with. This is what I'm saying. Like ChatGPT can really speed up this process. If you're using multiple AI tools, man, your workflow for so many aspects of everything. Wow, hold up. Let's check this out real quick. Yeah, this is solid, but I almost want the banana to be a little bit bigger. So let's try generating that one more time and see if it spits out something different. But this is definitely solid because it backed up like 1 foot. This is perfect. It's adding some books here and like my mic. This is actually my mic right here, so we're gonna have to cut that out in Photoshop a little bit later, but we're gonna get onto that. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I think this will work. This is solid. It's not really as big as I want. Let's try one more and see what we can get. Or maybe, you know what we can do is we can do 6 to 5 feet long. Or 6 to 7 feet long, I mean. Yeah, nope, never mind. This is exactly what we're looking for. So that's perfect. This is exactly the size moving. Yeah. So let's definitely go with this. I know it's a small difference, but it's really the distance on how much I moved back. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So now we got to make a few changes here. I have a few things in mind because I don't want to be just like smiling like this while I'm holding banana. I want to add a little bit more emotion into this. So let's add this to my references and I'll get back to you with a prompt. But what I'm thinking right now is having the banana glowing, and then also like I want my body, like I want my face to be like looking down at the banana, because I have an idea in mind where I'm going to be putting the Photoshop logo over this on top of the banana right here. So I'll get back to you guys with my prompt right now after I'm done talking with ChatGPT. All right, I got my prompt in here, which is great to see, and we'll read it over right now. So use the reference image to keep the same person, facial structure, hair, and overall expression. Keep the black hoodie, hood up, same lighting, background, tilt the head slowly downward as if the person is looking down at the banana with focus and intensity, similar to a Sith Lord pose. And what I mean by that, if you guys are confused, is I'm trying to like show like how much power Nano Banana has. So if you guys don't know what I mean, this is the kind of pose that I'm looking for, like me looking down like this in a way, just my head tilted down like that. So it has more emotion there, and it really like shows the power of Nano Banana is what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, and then make the banana softly glow bright yellow, casting subtle warm yellow light onto the hands, hoodie, and lower part of the face. Maintain, yeah, because it's gonna be glowing on my face like it's gold. Like that's gonna be a great look. But yeah, let's see how this comes out. I don't know why there's some spaces down here, but yeah, let's see how this comes out. We got the reference image in there, and let's hit generate changes. But I mean, you can see how high quality these images are. It's great. And once we do a little bit of cleaning up in Photoshop, I mean, it's going to be looking amazing. But yeah, we're just waiting on this to generate right now. Oh my God, that looks solid. But one thing is my face doesn't look that great. I think my lips are a little screwed up. We may be able to fix that up in Photoshop, but like, why not just generate some changes one more time and see what it spits out? But I mean, that glow is absolutely sick. I mean, that thing is really glowing. Let's see. Yeah, you can still tell it's a banana though, which is great. Let's see this. Let's try one more. I do like that face a little bit more, but I still think we may be able to get something else that I'm more looking for. But the size of this is great. We can definitely still work with these faces, but I'm a little picky with my images sometimes. That is definitely not what I'm looking for. Let's go with this one for sure. So now our next steps with what we're gonna do is pretty much we don't really need to clean up anything besides this mic and, you know, these books right here. I don't really want those in there. It's kind of taken away from this image a bit. We might need to center this image a little bit more, but it's pretty solid. And like I said, I'm going to put the Photoshop image right here because you can also use Nano Banana in Photoshop, and that's what we're going to be doing right now. So we're going to be downloading this image. So we're going to take this right now. We're going to download it. And then we are going to come over to Photoshop and we are going to create a thumbnail. So yeah, with 1280, 720. So we're going to come over here, YouTube, just name it YouTube thumbnail or YouTube thumb. That works too. So we're going to hit create now. And now we have this transparent background. But what we're going to do is we are going to take that photo that we had of me looking down, and we are looking down at the banana and just plop it right onto here. So as you can see, like this is, we gotta center this. I think this is centered. Yeah. But right now you can see it's actually not the correct size. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to take this and expand generative fill right here. So we're taking this tool right here and we are going to just make a selection around here and we're just going to fill it out. And we are going to use Firefly Image 3. Keep in mind right now, I am on Photoshop Beta because Photoshop Beta is the only one that has the ability for you to use Nano Banana. In the regular Photoshop, you're not allowed right now. That's just how it is, but you can easily get Photoshop Beta in the Creative Cloud. Just go to apps and then look up Photoshop Beta and then you'll be able to download it. It's really quick and easy. The only problem is that some of your shortcuts they don't link over to Photoshop Beta, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But you can always take care of that. But anyways, so what we're going to do though, we're just going to expand this. We're not going to be using Gemini 2.5. We're just going to stick with Firefly Image 3. So we're going to do that and we're just going to hit generate. And then once this is done, we're also going to do this other side as well. This shouldn't take too much longer. And then it's going to give us 3 options here, but really they shouldn't be that much different. Yeah, this is solid. And then we're going to come over here and then we are going to do the same exact thing, fill, generate. But yeah, please do not forget that again, this is on Photoshop Beta. You cannot do this, what we're going to be doing right now on Photoshop, on the normal Photoshop. Unless we are officially at that point. If you're watching this like a few weeks later after this was posted, then Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana might already be in Photoshop. But yeah, this looks solid. So actually no, these books kind of look jacked up, even though we are going to remove them later. Let's just keep it like that. And what we're going to do now is we are going to merge these layers so it just becomes one. So we're going to hit merge visible, no, merge layers. And then we are going to come over here and we are just going to say remove. So let's see if we can just hit generate and it will take these out. That shouldn't be a problem really at all. Unless I had to say remove, but I've done this in the past, and if I just hit generative fill with nothing, then it usually removes these. Yeah, that's solid. Let's see if we can get it better. Yeah, that's perfect. Exactly. Now they're just empty shelves. But now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this mic up here. And yeah, we're just going to hit, well, let's see if we can just hit remove. Yeah, sweet. Okay, that looks great. That looks really solid. But now what we're going to be doing is we are going to be using Nano Banana inside of Photoshop Beta. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using the same tool. But one thing I noticed about this is not really that high quality of an image. Like, it's pretty blurry. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to circle my face. So I kind of want to get the whole hoodie, so let's go about doing this. Let's try that again. Let's come over here. We're gonna come up, get the whole hoodie. That's pretty solid. So now what we're gonna do is generative fill, but right here we are not using Firefly. We are going to be using Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana, and what we're gonna say is sharpen and add detail to this image. And now let's hit generate. This is probably going to take a little bit more time. Actually, it's flying by pretty quick, which is great to see, but you're going to see how much detail. It's going to add a bit more detail. It's going to make it look much more crisp on my face, because your face needs to look crisp at this, because people are looking at your face, because people like to build a connection. And look at that. It added much more detail. This is solid. We can even generate it one more time and see what it changes, but there is definitely much more detail in this, which is great to see. So it's taking a little bit of time right now. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, not much of a difference, but I think this one is definitely solid. Yeah, I love this. This is great. So now what we're going to do is we are just going to merge all of these right now. Just merge the layers. And now what we are going to do is we are going to take a picture of the Photoshop image and just throw it on here. Hit done. And then we are going to make this a little bit smaller. You know what? Actually, what I want to do is I want to make this a little bit bigger. I want to make sure you can really see everything. You can see my face. Obviously, I'm looking down, but I still want you to be able to see my face a bit. But yeah, so let's put this right here. Let's put this image somewhere in the middle. That's a solid spot. And what we're going to do is we are going to convert this into a smart object, just so we can make some rounded. So we can make this a little bit more rounded. So yeah, let's come into here and let's see what we can do. Let's bring this out. We're trying to make this a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So we're gonna make this a rounded image. Is that as rounded as I want it? Do I want it a little bit more? Maybe a little bit more. Let's try 20. Let's do 20. That should be solid. And what we're gonna do is just hit mask up here to the left. And now we have a mask, and we are going to save this as well. And now we got it on here. Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. But of course, we gotta make it still a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But before we do that, we should make sure that like my nose is like centered with the, yep, I mean, it's centered pretty well. Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. I mean, that's centered perfectly on my face. So yeah, now getting back to this image, we're gonna come over to blending options. And let's see what we can do here. Let's throw on a stroke. That stroke looks solid. Let's actually use that. Let's definitely use that color. And then what we're gonna do is also add a drop shadow. Definitely. Let's see if we can move this drop shadow a little bit. Let's change the angle. I think that's solid. Maybe the distance should be as far. I think that's good right there. Let's see if we can move this up a little bit. I think that's perfect. And then we can come on over back to blending options. And then we can add a glow as well. Let's add an outer glow. That's exactly the color I want. And I think that looks pretty solid right now. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely a solid thumbnail if you're not looking to put any text on it. Again, I made this thumbnail super quick and it looks great, but you still may want to add some words onto this thumbnail, just if that's more of your style. You know, I've added some words onto my thumbnails in the past. I may test this video out with adding like a little bit, like some words behind my head right here, saying like Nano Banana. You know, I'll test different thumbnails. A/B testing is a great idea, but I mean, for the most part, this was a very quick example, and this is the exact way I create my thumbnails for myself and the other creators and coaches, like I mentioned earlier, that I work with. But of course, we're not only making their thumbnails, we are also handling their entire content creation process. What I mean by this is we are handling their scripting, their editing, their posting, even the recording of their content using their AI clone. And if you're curious on like how we're using these AI clones and you would like to see like what it could look like for yourself, we're actually offering to create your AI clone and a video for completely free, no strings attached, just so you can see what your clone would look like in action in a video in your content. All you gotta do is just go down in the description and click the link, and then we can get going on building your clone and get started on that video. But whether you're looking to work with us or create your thumbnails manually, I wish you all the best.